From the shores of the famous 7 Mile Beach on Grand Cayman, it's the KPMG Legends, bringing the greats of the game to the most beautiful tennis destination in the world. Hi everybody, welcome to the Cayman Islands and welcome to the 10th edition of the KPMG Legends. I'm Brett Haber. We come to you tonight from the beautiful Ritz-Carlton on Grand Cayman, truly one of the most spectacular destinations on this earth. Michael Ryan and his group once again bringing the legends of the game to this beautiful island to play for the fans here and to raise money for some very worthy charities on these islands. I'm pleased to bring in my partner, former ATP star Chuck Adams. Chuck, I know you've played in some beautiful places around the world. After playing a couple of days here, what are your thoughts about the Caymans? What are your thoughts about this tournament?
Oh, it's a beautiful spot. It's no wonder they got so many top players here. We got to spend some time with Tony Blair, joined us for a little festival, and we did some great clinics with some young kids. And it's just a beautiful spot, and it's no surprise there's tons of top players here.
Yeah, and we've got some top players here in our draw on this final Sunday. Let's talk a little bit of tennis. We're going to have the doubles final a little bit later on tonight featuring Mark Philippoussis and Martina Hingis and some other big stars. Our singles final is first. Wayne Ferreira, the South African, against the American Thomas Blake. Let's start with Ferreira. This is a guy who was known as kind of an Iron Man during his ATP career. Very fit, very willing to chase down every ball that's hit his way. And at age 40, nothing seems to have changed with him.
I don't think he's missed a beat. I watched him play last night. He looked stronger than ever. He took out their top junior here, University of Kentucky player. And as we know, he had the most consecutive Grand Slam appearances, and he looks as fit as ever. I would look for him to win a lot of matches on the ATP Tour still.
Really, that's saying something at his age. No surprise. He's still fit. He's going to take on Thomas Blake tonight, obviously the lesser known of the two Blake brothers, but still Thomas had a very solid career and is still playing some pretty good ball.
Oh, yeah, he did. Played 4 years at Harvard, had a nice career, won a lot of matches in doubles, and he's got big, strong serve. It's going to be a great match. I look forward to it.
All right, so it'll be the South African against the American, Wayne Ferreira against Tom Blake. That'll be our singles final. Double still to come. It's tennis action, KPMG Legends from Grand Cayman. First ball coming up right after this. Tell us why it was so important for KPMG to support this event and support tennis and the charities that are benefiting from this event here on the island.
Yeah, I mean, we're absolutely proud to be the title sponsors this year, as you say. In terms of the community, what better way than to give something back than have some of the best tennis players in the world, the legends, actually here for all of the community. In terms of the Crisis Centre, it's a huge charity on the island. It's a great opportunity for KPMG and our staff to get heavily involved and, again, to give something back.
Anytime a sponsor in this economy makes a commitment to support an event like this, charity, and bringing a world-class sporting event to this island, it reflects a big commitment. Why did you say, you know what, yeah, times are tough, but we're still going to make the extra effort and do this?
I think it's important. It's important for our clients. It's important for our people. We've got a huge corporate social responsibility program in Cayman and globally, and I think our people expect us to do things like this. And so to give something back to the kids here, you know, to our sponsors, to everybody here, I think it's fantastic for the island.
Thanks for doing what you do.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.
Nice job.
Let's do that. I couldn't. This is the 10th edition of Legends here on Grand Cayman. I mean, let's start with that. I mean, you must take a great deal of pride in the longevity of this event, first and foremost.
Yeah, I mean, every year when we say, oh, this year's the 7th or the 8th or the 9th, but the 10th sort of really makes you step back a second and go, wow, you know, it's obviously been a great idea. We were really believers that Cayman would be a great destination for tennis year-round and worldwide, and if we could expose people to what Cayman had to offer, they'd go, hey, this is where I want to come and be. Obviously, it's had some traction to do that, and we're so excited that year after year, the event, you know, finds a way to grow, finds a way to stay fresh, but it's become a fixture. I mean, locally, people say, you know, it becomes now something they look on the social calendar and say, got to be there.
This is my second year here. I know that of utmost importance to you are the two charities, the Cayman Tennis Foundation and the Juniors and the Crisis Center here on Grand Cayman. Can you talk to me about how important those causes are, and what you guys are able to do via the money that you're raising?
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit surprising. I mean, of course, we support junior tennis, and we're so excited to be able to do it and grow because I'm a passionate tennis fan, and I think, as I said just a moment ago, Cayman's such a great place for tennis. But it was really about the Crisis Center and the chance to say, look, I have 3 daughters, and, saying, look, this is a real issue in our society. It's not one people talk about. It's certainly not something that people were getting behind. It's not sort of warm and fuzzy. But it needed to be supported. We were able to get out there and mobilize a lot of other people who maybe were looking to get involved or recognize it was an issue and said, hey, there's a platform that I can do something on, have some fun, but we can really make it happen. And, we're a small part of it, but hopefully we're a little catalyst to all the great people who've devoted their lives to creating this. And we think making a real difference for the better.
Let's talk tennis a second, because I know at heart this is about being tennis fans and loving this game. You've had some great players here before, number ones in the world here before. Jim Courier was here last year. Stefan Edberg was here last year. This year you have Martina Hingis, you have Jennifer Capriati, you have Mark Philippoussis. How do you keep bringing this top-class talent down here?
Well, we actually stole a page out of Butch Buchholz's, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, book from Miami. When I was up there the first time, I went, wow, this is a great tournament. How did it happen? And I was with the guys from IMG there, and they said, oh, he just treated the players like gold. So we said, well, we can do that. Got a fabulous resort. We've got an unbelievable island. We've got warm, friendly people. And so the word got around among the players. And so that when we reach out, we say, look, it's a great charity event. It's not huge money, but it is a chance to come down with your vacation. And people started wanting to come. And what's so much fun with the Legends is they now have young families and stuff. And so if you can say to them, hey, come on down, bring your kids to the beach, in the warmth, people do that, and it just comes year after year.
Last thing is, we all know that globally the economy is tough right now. It's tough in the States, it's tough here, it's tough everywhere. How do you explain the support, the widespread support that you continue to get from sponsors and from fans here on the islands that sustains this event when others are not making it?
Well, there's 2 parts to it. I mean, one, absolutely, this has been the toughest year to do it. Everybody's hurting. Everybody's saying, look, the discretionary spending or whether it's support, hard to get. But at the same time, we said, you know what? That's when you got to have the courage to say, we're going to get out there and we're going to do the event. We want people to know that Cayman is alive and well and great things are happening here and it's an exciting, optimistic place to be. And so we said, okay, we're going to do whatever we can to try and make that happen. And we reached out much more than ever into the community. The Cayman Islands government stepped up much bigger than they did before. KPMG, our title sponsor, was really the turning point. Said, let's just not do it together. Let's make this an even better event. We had Tony Blair down to speak at the first dinner. We've got all these great players. So many other of our sponsors stepped up and said, hey, we also believe this is a great thing for Cayman and the community, and we're willing to be a part of it. And those things came together in a way I didn't think they would, and here we are.
Thanks for being the driving force behind it yet again.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Cheers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
And we welcome you back to the Ritz-Carlton at Grand Cayman, KPMG Legends Tennis, presented by the Residences at Ritz-Carlton, and we are ready for our singles final. Thomas Blake, Wayne Ferreira. It's just about time to go, and tell us a little bit about Thomas Blake. Obviously, some fans may not be familiar with his work, but Chuck, you played with him a little bit this week. How's his game?
Yeah, his game is pretty clean. We practiced 2 or 3 times this week, and he has a really deceptively good running forehand, and he's got big first serve. He's got good reach around the court. I think it's going to be a very competitive match.
Brett Haber and Chuck Adams with you from the beautiful Grand Cayman. This is the 10th year of this Legends tennis event. There have been all manner of former number ones who've played in the past. Last year, Jim Courier, Stefan Edberg were here. This year, a couple of former women's number ones, and Martina Hingis and Jennifer Capriati. What's your sense of how this Cayman community has received this event?
I think it looks like it's electrifying tonight. The place is packed, and I think they're excited about a good final coming up here. And I think it's going to be very competitive. And to have these stars all in one place is really special.
Wayne Ferreira, of course, a guy who had a long and productive career on the ATP World Tour, and his longevity and his, we always refer to him as the South African Ironman, is always the thing that strikes me. And the one stat that I like to talk about is that he made semifinals of Grand Slams 11 years apart on tour, and that's hard to do. And he's going to begin on serve here. It's an 8-game pro set for our singles final.
Double fault, love 15.
Double to begin for Ferreira. He made the semifinals at Australia in 1992 and then again in 2003. It's quite a gap.
It's amazing, the longevity, and you can tell by his body he's just a bull out there. He's super strong, and you won't see too many more double faults, I'm sure.
All. 30-15.
Got as high as number 6 in the world, did Wayne Ferreira back in 1995. Top 10 in doubles.
Which
40-15.
to win in singles and doubles, as you know, is awfully grueling. That really speaks for his longevity right there.
Ferreira.
So double fault to begin, but Ferreira holds after that. Opening game of our singles final.
Every day, yeah. Ooh, baby, I love you. Every day. Shadows so long.
Back in the Caymans on serve in our singles final, Ferreira and Blake. Ferreira, you'd have to put in that category of the 1990s as one of the better players who never won a slam. Would you put him in that category?
Oh, absolutely. He was certainly good enough to win a slam and probably came close, but he's probably one weapon away from winning a slam.
Elaborate on that for a second. I mean, he's got a big forehand. His fitness is a weapon. What's he missing?
I think probably I played him on the tour, and he was a great player. Overpowering serve, overpowering forehand, but his backhand just probably wasn't up to a Grand Slam winner level. And you'll notice here at the beginning, he runs around his backhand a lot still, and I just don't think it was big enough to beat the guys of the 90s.
40 love.
15 titles for Ferreira during his ATP World Tour career. Finished top 50 8 straight years, 91 to 98.
Game Blake scores 1-0.
As Thomas Blake holds in his opening service game. What was Thomas missing? I mean, I think we probably assigned some pretty high expectations to him because of who he's related to. What held him back from being what he was, a top 200 player, to being more elite?
I think probably his speed. I think he was a little slow-footed around the court, and that probably held him back. And of course, his brother took off so well, and he began coaching his brother. And I think similar to Carl and Michael Chang, he took that route.
approach? What's the obviously clay is clay, but how's this clay playing? We had a ton of rain today. How's that affected the court?
Yeah, the court looks great. It really soaked up the rain great, and I think it's a fabulous clay court. And in this humidity, that's really makes clay great. So look for good tennis.
Compliments to the crew here at Ritz-Carlton Grand Cayman. I thought the animals were going to start coming 2 by 2 this afternoon. It was raining hard. They did a good job getting it ready. Thomas Blake had some decent results. Challengers, Futures. He won Glasgow. He won Gothenburg, Sweden.
40,
won the
15.
Winnetka Challenger with his little brother. Had some forays onto the main tour. Played the U.S. Open a couple times in doubles. Just couldn't quite break through.
Yeah, it's a tough tour out there. Not everyone can make it.
Game Pereira. Pereira leads 2 games to 1.
Wayne Ferreira holds again in our 8-game pro set final. Thomas Blake actually played the Winnetka Challenger this year. He's about to turn 35 and took a wild card with Robert Steinman into the doubles there and didn't win a round, but they took Brian de Boer and Rick de Verst of South Africa to a Champions Breaker.
Yeah, that's a nice result. Maybe there's a comeback in the works here.
Well, the word comeback it certainly applies to his family right now, because James, after being fairly well down and out outside the top 100 and playing some, horrible tennis for a while, he's back in the top 60 and, thinking about one last push.
Oh, I think so. I think he's going to be a force. He's ranked 60 in the world. He just had a little minor knee surgery. Ooh. And I think James will be a force to be reckoned with coming up. I think he plans on playing a couple more years in the Olympics, so look out for James Blake.
Right now, he needs to be top 60 in the world and needs to be top 4 in the country to make the Olympics in London. He's got the top 60 part beat. He's 59 right now, but he's 5th in the U.S. Donald Young has jumped ahead of him. So right now you got Marty Fish, Andy Roddick, John Isner, and Donald Young, and James is trying to shuffle up those rankings.
Right. Well, I think Bogomolov decided to play for Russia, so that gave him a little better chance there, and I think he's going to make it. And who knows, maybe he'll get a wild card since he got that medal stolen from him in the last Olympics.
That's right. Did the ball clip the frame or not?
I watched the replays the other night.
30-40.
I think it did. I think they're going to feel sorry for him and throw him at least a wild card. He deserves it.
Yeah, every player I've talked to, and Chuck, you tell me, says when the ball hits your frame.
Oh, absolutely. You could see it in Fernando Gonzalez's eyes that he wasn't totally honest there, I think.
Oof.
couple of big forehands from Ferreira at that point, and Thomas had the answer.
Yeah, that was good tennis right there. I played Thomas, like I said, I practiced with him 3 times, and he was hitting the ball well. So we'll see if that practice pays off here. It looks pretty good so far.
The hard part to swallow about that whole James Blake, Fernando Gonzalez incident at the Olympics is that James has got to be one of the leading sportsmen in the sport, period, end of story. And to be on the wrong end of someone else's sportsmanship has got to be so frustrating.
That's just really... That's really just bad luck. And there's not too many guys, I think, on the tour that would be that blatantly dishonest.
Yeah.
And I think maybe if James will win a medal this year, we'll all come back to him.
You know, it's funny. It reminds you of 96 in Atlanta. Andre Agassi was in the middle of that horrible downward spiral when he dropped out of the top 140 in the world, but he got motivated for the Olympics in Atlanta and won the gold medal.
I mean, look at that. I mean, that really spurred his next comeback, and anything can happen when you're playing for a medal. I think it's a heightened pressure even from the Grand Slams for these guys, and anyone can sneak in there. Whoa.
The old fake apology from Thomas, and Wayne's going to whip one at him.
Score is 2-all.
Not necessary. I think we should abolish the fake apology after the dribbler net cord. Number of memorable moments in Wayne Ferreira's career. 93 U.S. Open. He made the round of 16, 3 straight 5-set wins in that tournament.
I remember at the
15
French
all.
Open. At the French Open, he tore his groin, and he had to play in Wimbledon 2 weeks later to break the record, and he somehow pulled it together and broke that record. So, injured or not, he was playing.
It's 56 consecutive Grand Slam appearances for Ferreira, 1991 through 2004. Think about that. 14 years to answer the bell every single slam.
Let me see if I can do that math. 14 times 4. What is that about?
Well, it was 56. Yeah, well, that's 56.
Yeah. It's amazing.
The old record was Stefan Edberg, had 53.
Oof.
$15.40.
Speaking of the Olympics, Ferreira is a medalist. He won the silver in doubles at Barcelona, 92, with Noval, his countryman.
Wow. And I think floating around the tennis event here is a rumor about Martina Hingis possibly playing in the Olympics with Roger Federer.
That's out there, right? There was rumors that they were going to start their partnership at Australia. That's not going to happen. But what do you think about that? Would you like to see Martina?
I watched Hingis playing, and she stayed pretty fit. She would be easily a top 50 tennis player on the women's tour and easily a top 10 doubles player. So look for her and Federer in the Olympics, I think. I think that's really going to happen.
This always good. Advantage play. Nice try. game, Blake. Blake leads 3 games to 2.
So the break for Thomas Blake as he takes the early lead in this championship match.
I think you're going to see him. Yeah.
Blake to serve. Blake leads 3 games to 2.
James Blake with the early break in our championship match, trying to consolidate it here. I said James. I got to put the first dollar in the bucket.
Well, after that break, he did play like James Blake, so easy to mistake that.
Yeah, with those wheels on Ferreira, you're going to have to hit a better drop shot than that.
Absolutely. That wasn't very James Blake-esque.
Thomas, very handy disposal of Murphy Jensen in the semifinals yesterday. In a battle between two former coaches, one current coach, one former coach of the Washington Castles World Team Tennis. I think Thomas was he the first coach of the Castles?
Yes, Thomas was the first coach, and then when he started traveling again with his brother, Murphy took over, and they're turning into a dynasty. That Washington Castles
16-0 this year, the first perfect season in the history. I think 36 years of World Team Tennis.
When you have Serena on your team, you can go undefeated anywhere.
And Venus.
Oh, it's not even fair.
And they were supposed to have Sam Querrey until he got hurt and had surgery. It's like they're like the Yankees of World Team Tennis.
Well, I coached the New York team, and we went up against them, and we took them out of the playoffs the year before.
Yes, the New York-Washington rivalry is well known. Your money's no good in D.C., Chuck.
I don't get served in D.C.
Blake leads 4 games to 2.
Wayne's giving some long looks to some line calls in this match, and they're not doing him any favors. Tom does consolidate, holds for 4-2. Remember, we're going to 8 in this pro set tiebreak in the event of 7-all, and Wayne's going to ask the chair to come down and take a look at this mark. And it's he's already called game, so this would be a stunning reversal if he. And he's going to change it, huh?
Oh my God!
All right, so we got to rewind and take the 4 off the board for Tom Blake. Put the 3 back on.
Will this be a game changer? We will find out.
Correction, it's 40-30.
That was a nasty pass on the forehand wing from Wayne Ferreira, and all of a sudden Thomas Blake thought he had a 4-2 lead, and we've got 3-2 deuce.
Well, that Wayne Ferreira forehand, he's made a couple errors to go down a break uncharacteristically, and look for him to probably play more solid going forward.
Blake.
Deep, powerful forehand from a couple paces behind the baseline.
That definitely looked like his brother there. Let's see if he can hit a big serve.
That's another running forehand from Ferreira right up the shoelaces of the incoming Blake, and he's battling.
I feel like telling Thomas not to approach to Wayne's forehand anymore. Can I do that?
You were close enough where you could shout I mean, you'd get flagged for coaching, but I don't think the ITF is going to fine you.
Advantage Blake.
I'd like to see a big kick serve here, high to Wayne's backhand and come to net. Let's see if he does that. Nope.
Went wide, but he hit it flat. Thomas stopped the point. It appeared to be well behind the baseline. It was overruled by the chair, and so it took about 3 minutes longer than Thomas had hoped, but the result is the same.
Yeah, he got the 4 back. All right. He consolidated the service break here, and Wayne's looking better, though, I have to say.
And maybe the Thomas Blake mojo here in the Caymans is over the fact that his mother, Betty, is English.
Yes, that is true.
And this is, part of the British West Indies. It's, I don't know, it has its own independent government, but it is still controlled by the crown. So, he's got a little hometown cooking.
Exactly. He's hometown right here.
Ooh. Swing and a miss. Rough bounce off a clump of clay. That's part of what happens with the rain. Whoa. Boy, that was a nasty forehand return from Tom Blake, but Wayne Ferreira had the answer.
Yes, he did. I think I think you're going to see more of that as this pro set progresses.
Game Ferreira. Blake leads.
So Ferreira holds for 3-4, ratcheting up his game a little bit, but it's still Tom Blake up a break.
Thomas is playing well. I went here.
Thomas Blake serving up 4-3. And are we to understand that Thomas is going to have a new sister-in-law before too long?
Yes, from what I gather, James just got engaged, and he's building a home in Connecticut and going to spend a lot more time there.
Ooh. Tom and James from, I'll say, Westport, Connecticut. I think they went to the same high school as John Mayer, right?
Yes, that is true. And he's going to spend some more time there as he's winding down his career, and I think he has wedding plans next year.
If there's one negative today for Tom and James, it's that this match is being played on the same day as the Harvard-Yale game. And, well, I guess it was a positive. Harvard They didn't get to see it, just the negative. Harvard crushed Yale.
Oh, did they?
When I came over to the courts, it was 45-7. I don't know what the final was.
Ouch.
That just missed. James played 2 years for the Crimson.
15.
Thomas played all 4 there. So, too bad Mom and Dad raised a couple of dummies.
Yeah. Two class
40,
acts.
30.
The brothers are just great guys and classy group, and you really want to see James give it one more shot for American tennis and do really well.
Game.
So the hold for Thomas. That
Game, Blake.
return slides
Blake,
wide. Now a
5-3
5-3 lead for Thomas.
Come on, put some energy in these guys. Another round of applause from the crowd. Come on, guys. Come on.
The chair umpire is serving double duty as the crowd pumper-upper.
He needs more energy. Love 15.
Ooh.
15 all.
That's a big serve. You look for Wayne to have big serve, big forehand, but he's just made a few errors tonight, I think.
Maybe one of the most impressive
15-30.
statistics about Wayne Ferreira. 6-6 lifetime against Pete Sampras. Not too many people were 500 or better against the pistol.
That's amazing. I didn't know that statistic. Well, that goes to show you when he's on, he can beat anybody. And
What do you think about Wayne's game matched up so well against Pete?
30 all.
I really don't know. I really think that Wayne has a big forehand just like Pete does, and Wayne's volleys are quite good, although he didn't come to net a lot because his forehand was usually hit so big. But I think it was just a mental thing. You don't see Pete going 500 on too many guys.
40-30.
Wayne said he idolized Pete, which is a little strange. They're the same age, but I guess you don't have to be younger than a guy like Pete Sampras to idolize him.
No, that's amazing. He was able to beat his idol so many times. Usually you tend to be psyched out when you're playing your idol.
So some service
Double
issues
fault. Deuce.
creeping into the Ferreira game. Deuce now on the Ferreira serve. Blake with a little opening to go up a pair of breaks. That would be curtains for sure.
Advantage Ferreira.
Double faulted himself into trouble, but then a couple of big serves at Deuce gets the hold. Still Thomas Blake up a break.
Talk about how he was drinking rum and coke last night when I left him at 1 a.m.
these guys get a little older, Chuck, they diversify their interests. Tell me a little about Wayne Ferreira, what he's doing.
Wayne started a water purification company, and it's worldwide, and he's taking water out of the air, the humidity out of the air, and turning it into drinkable water. Sounds amazing, and he's focused on the African countries where water is lacking. Purified water is lacking, and it could be a game changer for all of Africa. And he has a lot of great connections in Africa, being from South Africa and having such a great career. So I hope it happens.
He's always been active in charities in his home country. He started the Wayne Ferreira Trust Fund to help cover travel costs for young South African athletes many years ago. People forget how isolated in some respects relative to the rest of the sporting world Africa can be. Difficult for young athletes to travel and compete. Oh, the running forehand. That time James Blake there. Backhand stab, volley winner.
40 love.
Maybe James should be coaching Thomas soon. I'm very impressed with Thomas's game tonight.
Game Blake.
Well, a nasty little stab volley and a big serve, and now a 6-4 lead for Thomas.
Love.
Thomas exhorting himself to move his feet a little more.
I think he's doing quite well so far. 6-4 here, 2 games away from the victory.
Love.
Wow.
30-15.
Big forehand from Thomas there. He's really trying to close this out.
Nice deep second serve from Wayne. Had a couple of rhythm yips on his last service game, but point here for 5-6. Drills that up the line, and it is a hold for Ferreira, trying to put as much pressure as possible on Tom Blake as the American still maintains the lead.
This is aim for first serve will bust
So just a couple more chances for Wayne Ferreira to make an impression on the Tom Blake serve. But if he can serve wide like that, not going to be a lot he can do.
No, Wayne's got to somehow make a dent here and scrape some points together. Try and get back into this.
That was a good start.
15 all.
ricochets are flying fast and furious off the Ferreira frame. A lot of heat behind that Blake forehand.
Here's the point of the match, I would say. 30 all. A chance for Wayne to get back into this.
Serve to the backhand?
I think he should, but he's been hitting every ball to his forehand. We'll see. No.
Tried it.
Let's see if Wayne runs around his backhand, hits a heavy forehand.
He did not need to run around it, and I think you make an excellent point, Chuck, which is no doubt which is the stronger wing on the Ferreira return, and Tom's not using that knowledge.
I know. I feel like screaming out there to him to hit it to his backhand, but obviously Thomas knows what he's doing so far.
Break point. That ball clipped the baseline. We're sitting right on that line, essentially. But a break point, again, he served into the Ferreira forehand, got away with it.
Yeah, I really think Wayne's just playing too conservative when he has a chance here. He's got to go after that big forehand.
Deuce.
Advantage Blake. Game Blake.
Well, Tom unafraid to serve into the teeth of the better Ferreira ground stroke, and at the end of the day, it didn't matter.
I'm really shocked by this strategy. He's breaking down Wayne's legendary forehand.
So 7-5 now. Ferreira serving to stay alive in this match. Late call, but a long call on the serve.
Center.
Boy, Thomas totally mishit that backhand, and the wind blew it back in.
Everything's flying in for Thomas right now. I think he felt guilty on the forehand.
So many similarities in the way he and James produced that one-handed backhand. Well, no takeaway at all on that forehand.
I mean, Thomas's game is as clean as it's ever been.
Should take some more wild cards after that Winnetka challenger.
I agree.
Well, if he's going to hit one-handed backhand winners up the line, I mean, you know, catch a cab.
30.
From what I gather, James is not playing in the Australian Open, but maybe Thomas should.
Blake 2 points from the match.
Ooh.
30 all.
Wayne does not want to go away. Big serve there. Let's see if he can close out this game.
Game Ferreira.
All right, so trouble on his serve, but Wayne gets out of it, holds for 6-7. Blake will have a chance to serve it out next.
Blake to serve. Ladies and gentlemen, he leads 7 games to 6.
It's Carlton Thomas Blake in our singles championship, serving it out, or at least trying to, against Wayne Ferreira.
Bringing the heat, 15 love.
Bomb up the tee, and Thomas is apologetic. That's how nice he is.
He's complaining that he's got nothing left in his shoulder after firing bombs like that.
3 points away.
Late call.
Let's see if Wayne can scrape back in this for a tiebreaker.
Pressure moment on the Blake serve.
This is the point of the match. Oof.
15-40.
Continuing to serve to the Ferreira forehand. He got away with it in his last service game. He is potentially about to pay the price right here.
Mm-hmm.
That flies long, and the break by Ferreira as Blake was serving for the match.
Ladies and gentlemen,
There will be a break.
Correction. 12-point tiebreaker.
All right, so the chair is going to get rebriefed on the rules, but we will play a standard 12-point breaker, first to 7 to decide this match. Ferreira to serve first. Momentum on his side. You need to send the coaches like brainwaves down to Thomas to serve to the Ferreira backhand.
I know. It's worked the whole match up until the last game, and you're noticing Wayne starting to take that forehand a little earlier and hit it a little bit bigger.
See?
There it worked. There we go. Let's see if he remembers how he won that last point.
Late call wide, but he seems to have the idea now.
Ferreira.
Thomas just noticing fireworks going off along 7 Mile Beach behind the court. Beautiful. Hard to see from here, but they are spectacular. Part of Pirate Week here in the Caymans, big celebration.
That's
where
right.
They reenact some historical events. They come and capture the governor.
Big forehand by Wayne there. When he steps in, he's pretty much unbeatable with that forehand.
I know this isn't exactly a best-of-5 match. It's an 8-game pro set, but Ferreira has a history in his career of going the distance, which is essentially what this is in this format. As he takes the 4-1 lead, Ferreira has a career record. Here's my last Ferreira fun fact of the night. 27-12 in 5-set matches in his career.
That's an incredible record. What a ball.
That's a good way to put it.
Ferreira leads 5-1. Change sides.
Thomas gives it a long look. That backhand right up the line, looking for a call. Well, that was a little smarmy from the chair. If you can't see it, it's good. He said he's right, but not sure Tom appreciated that as they change ends at 5-1.
As you can see, even tonight, Wayne was losing 90% of the match. No panic, no worry, and just closes the gap and taking a big lead now in the tiebreaker.
Yeah, it's that mindset that allowed him to survive all those 5-set matches. Doesn't panic with a deficit.
Sticks to his game.
Plus 7.
Wow. Big forehand by Wayne. As you can see, Wayne's not making any errors or really stepping in and busting that big forehand.
So total control now, a whole bushel full of match points for Ferreira. And it will only take one. Wayne Ferreira played with a deficit this entire match, but he breaks as Thomas Blake is serving for the match and wins the breaker.
Yeah, amazing comeback. Just subtle, but really turned it around. Just cut out the errors and started making his big forehand, big serve.
Nice warm round of applause for the South African. He is your 2011 KPMG Legends Tennis Singles Champion. An 8-7 win over Thomas Blake. Let's just wrap things up for singles with a comment on Thomas Blake's game. I think even in defeat, you sounded pretty impressed with the level of game he's playing.
I really was. I mean, Thomas played great tennis. I think when he was serving for the match, he aced him the first point, was 3 points away, and just got a little tentative. And you see the legendary Wayne Ferreira take it to him.
We'll take a break as they do some interviews on court and present the trophy, but we've got more tennis to come. It's doubles, our championship match on the way back to Grand Cayman and the KPMG Legends Tennis right after this.
It's great. Hopefully it's fun for you guys.